The hum of the emergency generators was a thin, reedy counterpoint to the raging tempest outside. Rain lashed against the reinforced windows of the Isla Nublar Welcome Center, each gust sounding like a primal roar. Inside, the control room was a dim, nerve-wracking sanctuary of flickering monitors and the desperate glow of backup lights. Dennis Nedry, his face slick with sweat despite the chilly air of the embryo cold storage, fumbled with the last-minute adjustments to his stolen bounty. 9 glowing vials, nestled snugly in their Barbasol shaving cream canister, represented his ticket to a life free from Hammond's condescending lectures and perpetual underpayment. His heart hammered, a frantic drum against his ribs, but a giddy thrill sang beneath the fear. He had done it. He had actually done it. He carefully clicked the canister shut, tucking it into the inner pocket of his oversized rain jacket. The plan was simple. Get to the East Dock, meet the boat, and disappear. The storm was his accomplice. The chaotic system shut down his perfect alibi. He'd be long gone before anyone figured out what hit them. Grinning, a wide, self-satisfied smirk, Nedry pushed open the heavy door of the cold storage, stepping out into the dim corridor that led to the central control hub. The path to his waiting jeep was just a few more turns. Freedom beckoned. "Evening, Mr. Nedry." The voice was calm, utterly composed, cutting through the storm's roar and Nedry's internal celebration like a razor. It belonged to Ray Arnold. Nedry froze, his smile dissolving into a rictus of shock. Ray Arnold stood 6 feet away, a silhouette against the faint glow of the main console, oddly illuminated by the powerful beam of a mag light in his left hand. In his right, clutched firmly, was a walkie-talkie. Arnold's eyes, usually hidden behind the perpetual haze of cigarette smoke, were narrowed, sharp as obsidian. They were fixed on Nedry's bulging jacket pocket. "Ray," Nedry stammered, forcing a laugh that sounded more like a choked cough. "Didn't see you there. Just, heading out. Urgent matter, you know. Technical stuff." Arnold didn't move. The mag light, held steady, cast a circular halo of intense light directly onto Nedry's chest, making the lump under his jacket disturbingly prominent. "An urgent matter that requires a Level 5 park-wide system shutdown, Mr. Nedry?" His voice was devoid of emotion, a dangerous calm. Nedry's mind raced. He could bolt. But Ray was faster, probably, and he was blocking the most direct path to the exit. "Look, Ray, it's complicated. There was a power surge, a glitch in the system. I was just trying to stabilize things before they got worse. You know how delicate the infrastructure is." Nedry tried to sound professional, authoritative, but his voice cracked on infrastructure. Arnold took a single, deliberate step forward, planting his feet firmly. The beam of the mag light flickered slightly with the effort. "I've been monitoring the system, Nedry. There was no surge, no glitch, just a highly specific sequence of command inputs that initiated a controlled shutdown of primary containment, security, and internal communications, coupled with a pre-programmed timer for restoration that conveniently aligns with your departure time." He paused, letting the words hang in the air, heavy with accusation. "And now, you're exiting the embryo cold storage, an unauthorized zone for your level of access, with a suspiciously bulging jacket. What's in the pocket, Mr. Nedry? A late-night snack?" Nedry's face flushed. He tried to project indignation. "That's preposterous. Are you accusing me of something, Ray? After all I've done for this park?" Arnold's lips thinned. He raised the walkie-talkie to his mouth, thumb hovering over the transmit button. "Mr. Hammond, Mr. Muldoon, this is Arnold. I've found the bastard. Embryo cold storage. Repeat, embryo cold storage." Nedry's blood ran cold. "No! Wait! Ray, don't!" He lunged forward instinctively, but Arnold was quicker. The mag light whipped up, not to strike, but to block Nedry's path, the heavy casing of the flashlight an unyielding barrier. "Stand down, Nedry," Arnold said, his voice a low growl. "Do not make this worse for yourself." "Worse? Worse than what?" Nedry began to babble, his words tumbling out in a desperate surge. "Look, I can explain. It's not what you think. Hammond, he's been stringing me along for months, promising bonuses, raises, shares, nothing. He treats us like peons, Ray. After all the coding, all the complex architecture I built for this place, he pays me a pittance. I deserve more. This was just leverage, a way to get his attention, to get what I'm owed." Arnold's eyes were locked on Nedry, but there was no flicker of understanding, no sign that he was processing Nedry's desperate monologue. His focus was singular: the breach, the threat, the immediate need to contain it. He didn't care about Nedry's grievances, only about the dangerous reality of the stolen embryos and the park's vulnerability. He was hearing sounds, but not listening to the meaning. "Nedry, I'm repeating myself. Do not resist. Stay where you are." Arnold's voice was calm, almost detached, as a faint static hiss came from the walkie-talkie. "Arnold, this is Hammond. Please tell me he's still in the building." Hammond's voice crackled through the radio, tinged with a familiar blend of patrician panic and genuine concern. "Hammond, it's Nedry," Arnold stated, concise and to the point. "He's leaving the cold storage, believed to be in possession of stolen property, likely embryos. I've got him." A stunned silence followed from the radio, broken only by the crackle of static and the distant rumble of thunder. Then Muldoon's voice cut in, sharp and immediate. "Good Ray, that fat bastard. We're on our way. Stand by. Do not lose him." "Affirmative, Muldoon. We're still in the main control hub. He's attempting to negotiate, but I've got him contained. Move with caution. The system integrity is compromised, and the facility is operating on auxiliary power. Lighting is intermittent." "Negotiate?" Nedry whined, his bravado completely gone, replaced by naked fear. "I'm not negotiating, I'm explaining. Ray, you have to understand. I would have returned them. Once Hammond saw I was serious, I would have put them back. No harm done." He gestured wildly with his free hand. The storm outside seemed to redouble its fury, the lights in the control room flickering more violently. In that brief moment of near darkness, Nedry eyed the exit again. Could he make a break for it? But as the lights steadied, Arnold was still there, a solid, unmoving presence. His mag-light beam remained unwavering, pinning Nedry like a bug. The walkie-talkie was still in his right hand, ready for any further communication. His left hand, holding the powerful flashlight, was subtly positioned to intercept any sudden move Nedry might make. He wasn't listening to Nedry's pleas. He was listening for Muldoon and Hammond, and feeling for any shift in Nedry's posture that might indicate an attempt to flee. "I'm telling you, Ray, it's not worth it," Nedry pleaded, trying a different tack. "You're risking your neck for a man who doesn't appreciate you. I could cut you in. We could both walk away from this. Think about it, a fresh start, more money than you've ever seen." Arnold's only response was to shift his weight slightly, ensuring his stance was unassailable. He was a wall of quiet professionalism. His job was to manage the systems, to ensure the park functioned. Nedry was now a malfunctioning system, a threat to be neutralized and reported. Personal gain, Nedry's grievances, none of it registered beyond background noise. The seconds stretched into an eternity for Nedry. Every creak of the building, every distant roar of thunder, every flicker of the lights felt like a harbinger of doom. He could hear the approaching footsteps now, heavy and deliberate, over the storm's din. Muldoon and Hammond. The double doors leading into the control room burst open, revealing the imposing figure of Robert Muldoon, his shotgun held low, his gaze sweeping the room. Behind him, looking pale and distraught, was John Hammond, leaning heavily on a cane. Muldoon's eyes immediately locked onto Nedry, then to Arnold, whose maglight was still trained unblinkingly on the terrified programmer. "Arnold, report," Muldoon commanded, his voice deep and resonant. Nedry contained Muldoon, No resistance offered, beyond verbal attempts to distract. Arnold's voice was flat, professional. He appears to have dinosaur embryos in his possession. We need to verify what he's taken. Muldoon nodded, setting his shotgun down against a console and advancing on Nedry. Right. Let's see what you've got there, you little weasel. Nedry, defeated, slumped. He made no move to resist as Muldoon reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out the Barbasol canister. The weight of it, the coldness of the metal, was instantly recognizable to Hammond, who gasped. "The embryos!" Hammond cried, his voice laced with anguish and betrayal. "Dennis! How could you, after everything?" Nedry flinched. "Everything? You gave me table scraps, John. I built your empire, and you paid me like an intern." "I gave you everything, a programmer's dream job," Hammond said with a real sadness in his voice. Muldoon ignored the exchange. He handed the canister to Arnold, who carefully placed it on a secure, designated counter. "Arnold, can you bring the systems back online?" Arnold was already moving. Now at his desk, his hands flying over the keyboard, fingers dancing across the illuminated keys. "The system is recoverable, Muldoon." He initiated a clean shutdown, effectively just pulling the plug on certain protocols rather than a malicious overwrite. The timer for re-engagement would have brought it back online in a few hours, but I can override it. We'll have full power and containment protocols restored within minutes. Auxiliary power is holding stable, and the tour vehicles are simply dormant, not damaged. Hammond watched, a mix of relief and profound sadness on his face. "Thank God for you, Ray. Thank God." As Arnold worked, the control room came alive. Lights brightened, monitors flickered to life, displaying complex grids and vital statistics. The hum of the generators deepened into the confident thrum of full power. "Primary containment protocols re-establishing," Arnold announced, his eyes scanning the data. Electric fences re-energized across all zones. Security cameras back online. Communication systems fully restored. Tour vehicles are responding to manual override. Guests are safe, simply inconvenienced, sheltered by the storm. Muldoon grabbed Nedry by the arm, his grip firm. "You jeopardized everyone, Nedry. Not just the park, but every single person on this island. You nearly unleashed pure chaos." "I told you, I was going to return them," Nedry insisted, his voice cracking. "You think we believe that, you idiot?" Muldoon scoffed, already pulling Nedry towards the holding cells. "You were minutes from being off this island. You're lucky Arnold caught you before I did. You single-handedly almost caused a genuine catastrophe." Hammond, recovering his composure, stepped forward. His expression was stern, his disappointment palpable. "Dennis, you have made a very grave mistake. Not only have you stolen from me, but you have also endangered lives and violated every trust placed in you. This is an act of pure, unadulterated sabotage and evil. You will be held fully accountable, both by InGen and by the law. Your contract is terminated, effective immediately, and believe me, your career in this industry is over." Nedry could only stammer, the full weight of his failed plan and imminent ruin crashing down on him. Muldoon led him away, his protests fading down the corridor. Ray Arnold, meanwhile, continued to monitor the systems. He watched as the red alerts turned green, as the lines of code affirmed the park's security. The storm raged on, but inside, order had been restored. The tour vehicles were being remotely guided back to the visitor center. The guests, though shaken by the shutdown, were safe and unaware of the true peril they had narrowly averted. No animals had breached containment. The delicate ecosystem of Jurassic Park, on the brink of collapse, had been brought back from the precipice by the calm, steady hand of a systems engineer who simply refused to let it fail. He had heard Nedry, but he hadn't listened. He simply did his job,